Joaquin Phoenix and Joker, not because we're trying to make any kind of point, but because we have information that is certainly valuable to you, and that is about taxes. And what we are going to talk about today is personal tax are not the same as real property tax. And we have two people that are experts, savants, geniuses.
I don't know about experts.
Angels of mercy.
Well informed?
Okay. And very, very humble, I guess. Okay, Liz and Gina from Remax Diamond Realty. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us as always.
Thank you.
6 years into the segment, it's always lovely to have you guys here.
Shoots. Has it been 6 years?
Well, and it's been now 6 tax seasons that we've been talking about this, and we cannot reinforce enough that tax dates and deadlines are not the same as the April 15th hard deadline that everybody seems to memorize.
Correct. Right. Real estate taxes are different.
Okay, how so? Not just with the due date and everything like that, but maybe you can just set us up.
Well, your real estate property tax bill typically should have been sent out in December. So the first thing that I want to stress is if you don't have your tax bill, the government of Guam says it is on you to make sure you get it, not on them to make sure you got it. So if you don't have it, you need to call, you need to go down there and say, I didn't get my tax bill yet.
The onus of responsibility is on the property owner.
Yeah, you owe it whether or not you got a bill.
You can't use that excuse, oh, my employer didn't give me the W-2, and try and buy yourself some time that way.
That's right.
Okay, well, Liz, a lot of people these days, I know a lot of people, they have a strategy when it comes to their personal finances, and they say, I'm going to apply for an extension, I'm going to save up my money. Is that even an option when it comes to real property?
When you get your property tax bill, your real estate property tax bill, there are 2 payments that are due. They expect you to pay full on February 20th, or you could do a second payment. So the next payment is due April 20. So when you get that bill, it is due and payable at that time. So you've got to look out for the bill. Now, sometimes if you don't get it, as Gina says, you have to go to Revenue Tax and request for it, because if you don't, there are penalties associated with not paying it. If you have a mortgage, sometimes your mortgage company, if you're banking with one of the banks, they will receive the bill and they make the payment. But you've got to, double check, because it's still your responsibility.
As far as the penalties, is it like a sliding scale, or is it like a flat fee, or is it, like in terms of time, it's like, you're 2 weeks late, you get a certain penalty, 3 weeks late, you get a certain penalty? Like, how exactly are those penalties applied?
I think the penalties, Gina, are taxed based on each day you're late, I believe,
yeah,
and there's a percentage.
Penalty, a percentage amount.
Yeah, a percentage amount.
That's added to your tax bill.
So the more tardy to the party you are, the more substantial your penalties will be.
That's right. I mean, if you don't pay it on time, they're going to add in the penalty fee. So, half of that tax bill is due on February 20th, and the other half is due April 20th, and it's your responsibility to make sure you have that bill. Whether or not your bank gets it or you get it, it's still your responsibility. The thing that I want to stress to most homeowners, people that we've recently sold property to, and to us when we say recently, we mean within maybe within the first year or to 5. If you bought a property between now and 5 years ago, there is a small chance that you have not received your property tax bill, because it takes the government. They're working on it, and they've hired private companies to update the records, but it's still not guaranteed that the bill is going to be in your name or sent to you, because they're still a little bit behind in some of that.
Will it be cumulative? When I say it does take the government of Guam 5 years to get me my tax bill.
Yeah,
when I get it, is it going to be my property tax value, or
yeah, now you owe 5 years worth of
tax. Okay, times 5.
That's right.
Okay, so it is. Okay.
Or plus the penalty.
Yes.
Because remember, in the beginning we stressed it is your responsibility. You still owe it, whether you got the bill or not.
Right.
Sometimes the bill goes to the previous owner, and we get a call, and they give us the copy, and then we try to forward that. But even if that's the case, it's still, if the previous owner got it, it's still not their responsibility to get it to the new owner. So if they bought it a year or 2 ago and they're still not getting the taxes, they really have to go up to Revenue Tax.
So you can't claim ignorance as an excuse, and if you try and use that, they're going to shut you down every single time.
I mean, they can certainly sympathize with you, but then you get sympathy plus the penalty.
I really feel sorry for you, Mr. Salas, and everything, but no.
No.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you know.
That's a very short and very upfront conversation. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
sympathy
Okay.
and penalty, they go together.
Okay, that was something I was really interested in as far as it being cumulative. But if I have been given property, ladies, well, first of all, what is the real estate tax calendar? Are we talking about like the calendar year, or is it the
It's
fiscal year?
It's
So it starts in
it's
October.
a calendar,
Yeah.
It is the
calendar
calendar.
year.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
and
correct.
on Guam, it's interesting because you pay 2019 real estate tax is
Taxes.
due this year.
Mm-hmm.
So the
2020.
first installment is due February 20, the next installment April 20.
Okay, and
They
now
cut it in half and then you just pay
Yes.
it like that.
and now that I know that, I'm curious to see if I was gifted, if I received an inheritance of real estate in the last month of the tax season.
Yes.
Is it prorated in any way, or do I owe the full amount just because I have
You
it?
owe the full amount.
Okay.
Because
That's important to know.
And let's say you bought it in the middle of the year. If you purchase it, the escrow company will prorate it, but they credit you the previous owner's amount. They give that to you, and then the remaining part of the year is your responsibility, but they've credited also the seller's portion. So come February, you've got the full amounts to make that payment.
Okay.
And Jason, if you received it as a gift, then you have to look at whether or not the person who gifted it to you, did they give you that credit so that you can go pay it? Because it's questionable. If I'm going to give my son a piece of property, I'm probably going to say, hey, you pay all the
pay
taxes
it,
yourself.
exactly.
I'm not crediting you anything.
We'll tell you what. Okay, I'm loving the attitude. I'm loving the honesty, and this is way more than we can handle in one episode and everything. So if you're watching us
Yeah.
on YouTube, everybody, skip to part 2. If you're watching us on KUM TV, stay tuned because next week we have a fantastic episode. Ladies, thank you so much again. We are just literally scratching the surface of when it comes to real estate with taxes. It's a business transaction, so it's not really that difficult, but there are very rigid deadlines and stipulations as I'm